Hello and welcome back to El Primo. This is recorded rather early, but I feel like it's time to do that before I do more of a certain thing. What has happened? Well, let's just check the little journal. Yeah, that's true. One of the first things I'm going to use as much of my knowledge as I can. Down here it's actually an abandoned mine. Now before before me starting this 1.21, the bedrock was at 0 as it should be. That said, suddenly it wasn't anymore. Here is bedrock. Normally I would, if I have dig straight down, I wouldn't have come this far, and now suddenly there is no bedrock until later down there. So what I did, I checked with unmined.net, what do we have below 0, just for fun, because I wanted to see it. You can't see diamonds and stuff. But suddenly I could see this mine. Now I have totally stripped it because I needed everything. Well, not really, but there was a lot of diamonds and stuff. So I thought, oh, this is good. This is so nice. I don't have to go anywhere to get this. Yeah, better close that one. Oh, I still have some stuff down here. Well, it will be there. If I suddenly decide to stretch out or whatever. At the moment, I don't need to, of course. So that was one thing. And it was unmined.net that told me, yes, you have an abandoned mine underneath. At least it looked like some sort of crossword puzzle. And so I was thinking, what? Where is this? It's straight down your backside, man. So yeah, I went down. Now this is cheating, sort of. But since this is my world and I do whatever I please, I thought, well, why not? I needed the stuff and I got hold of it. Let's see. Then that made me feel, yeah, I got enough fences to do the railroad lights. And then I have completed the southern line, yes, and then I delivered beds and doors because they didn't have any beds and some doors was missing. I've also fixed the gravel roads into the path of the 4 cities. 6 cities will have an apartment later on, and then I started on the northern line, and exactly I got that one finished as well. It was not that much work to be done. Let's see what was before that, because journal number 1 is now finished. Let's see where we could be. I got some silk touch there, yes. Yeah. There's not much more to say about that, more than that, yes, there is a railway all the way down to all the 5 cities down there, or villages. They have villagers, they have work, they have everything they need in order to fix themselves. But I also got a portal into each and every one of them, because I'm not going to go by rail every time. However, it is useful to have a railway line close by. If you go and fetch something else or something like that, then perhaps you can quickly get back home again before even, yeah, if you are not close enough to the nether portals. This is my harbor gate. It's down there, it's closed, it's nowhere near where it should be. So I'm thinking of making a redstone contraption, and I don't know how to do it. We have, of course, slimed pistons, so the blocks actually takes care of it. And I suddenly knew that one redstone will take both of them. That's good. Now, how do I feel? I mean, I don't want a button. A button is totally... if I'm not quick enough, I'm going to be crushed. Or should I say, my boat will be crushed, because I just jump into the water. So, can I have some sort of detector? So, we'll see about that one. And now for the reason I'm actually recording this. There seems to be some sort of misconception about another cheat I do, or have done, I should say. As I've probably said, both the Viper and the Eagle was built here on this map. And that's nice. So I copied them and put them into another map. Here I have done the opposite. I've taken one of my builds from another map and put it here. Now it looks rather strange, but it should be a Y-wing. Nice enough. For that I'm going to replace stuff. I'm going to replace some of it. Now we had a texture pack for this, so it didn't look like this. But that's beyond the point. So why would I use the MC Edit or the World Edit if you... MC Edit doesn't work anymore, but World Edit is supposedly going to work, and I've tried another program that's called Amulet, and Amulet helped me do this. Well, it's easier to tell you a story. Once upon a time, well, if you're not a map maker, that is making custom maps, adventure maps for Minecraft, using this to tell a story, this is not just Lego. This is something that you can use as some sort of thing to make a story or whatever. Custom maps has been around for quite a while. One of the custom maps we made was called The Adventurers, and I have put the trailer for that custom map in the description, so you can go and watch that. We were 4 map makers who were going to do 4 different types of things. Primo was going to take his old time jockey back and made Dr. What. No, not Doctor Who, Dr. What. We are not allowed to steal whatever we want. Jaga's mom had Angie O'Shea. That is instead of Angus... oh dear, now I've totally forgotten him. MacIver. So instead of Angus MacIver, we had Angie O'Shea. Lady, that's nice. And then CPM 4001 did Tennessee Jed. Yes, Indiana Jones. And then I had some McClure or whatever, McClone. That was, of course, the one from Die Hard, Bruce Willis' character. So each of us made an adventure for that character, and then we were going to put them all together as one. So I had suddenly, including the cinema, the movie theater that CPM 4001 made, suddenly I had that as one map. I had Proboros, Jaga's mums, and CPMs, and then my own. And then I also had to make some sort of headquarters for these adventurers. The whole idea was that there was a story, something needed to be saved. Well, of course, save the USA, because it's Hollywood. We did rather good on that cheesy thing. We had a lot of fun when we wrote this script. We did it together. And so it was all about that. And there was going to be some sort of helmet of gold or something like that. The sacred helmet of gold. And that misspelling was obvious. So yeah, CPM's idea. And then I got all these maps, and then I had to connect them and made them into one world, because it's going to be playable. And you started as a player inside the movie theater. So you just went in, bought a ticket, bought your, well, equivalent for popcorn, and then you went in and sat down, and immediately you are a part of the movie. You start as the time jockey, and then you were going away back in time to an Aztec temple. Yeah, as you probably can understand, it's not that easy to do that, all four of us on a server, because we are not going to be where we're supposed to be. So I used World Edit instead to make sure that I could patch everything together. This was back in, let's see, we released it on the 10th of September 2013. It was on the heydays of map making, I must say. Let's see, we are going to change to a different place. So when we have made that one, it was funny, it was cool. It's one of the best I've made, the second best I would probably say, and it's always because we were doing it together. Here is my Y-wing, by the way, the exact same Y-wing, except for one thing. Amulet can't move entities, that is typed like the maps and stuff. In this case, painting. This, I have made these are my X-Wings, GE-137, TIE Fighter, don't remember, and this is not mine. I have never made a Falcon in all my life. These are builds that others have done, and later on I will use them in some sort of capacity. And the reason I did that was because I did a map, a Star Wars map, of course, and I needed plenty of spaceships and AT-ATs and stuff in order to make it look like it should. This is the one of the areas that I made, and it should supposedly look like something of space. And you will, as a player, be put inside this, and you have to do stuff, and then the command blocks will put you somewhere else. And I also had a final, I think it was bigger than this, but I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find the picture. Yeah, here it is. And that X-Wing, I don't think I made that one either. The CR90 I didn't do. The moon was actually in the computer pack, texture pack we had. I don't see what that is. That is some sort of nebulous, right? I guess that's something else. So this is what I got when I could put everything together, and I used MC Edit. So that map used a lot of MC Edit for reasons, of course. Yeah, let's get back. Right, so Why would I then use this MC Edit? Nowadays probably I will use Amulet. Well, there are several reasons. I did series of Minecraft maps people had made, and I used this. I think it's Paralyzed Decay's version of the ditch in the Death Star. If you put these things, let's copy this and put it one after another, you will not see the end of it. What? Someone has escaped. Now they were made to look like different types. Oh, what are you doing? So yeah, and you should see some of the builds they made. It was awesome. That's totally true. Let's see if I can find them quick enough. Yes, this is Bespin. I'm actually thinking of trying to recreate this somehow. I'm not good at getting up. Come on, come on. It should be around here somewhere. There we have the falcon. And as you can see, it is when they enter for Lando Calrissian. I just stole this because it's a nice build. So, what's all this about? Okay, let's get back to the Y-Wing. I made this and I wanted to redo it. That's fine. I can do that perhaps, and perhaps not. Anyhow, I just needed to do some sort of change, and I thought it would be easier if I knew how it looked in my building area. And that's why I suddenly threw out every caution to the wind and get this amulet, and it helped me. It wasn't easy, but it worked. Now I see the perfect copy of the one that I made, and this is actually in correct scale, and that's important because I want them all to be as close as to the real scale as possible. The X-Wing isn't, I can tell you that much, it's not. So now I'm going to rebuild this. It's going to look about the same, but I'm not going to use cobble. I'm not going to use purple, magenta, whatever. And I'm not going to use wood because I have other stuff that I can use now and don't need a texture pack. I also want to use this amulet things to honor two of my, well, one of them at least is one of my best friends within Minecraft. You always talk about your community, man. This is for Mauvais. I have decided on what my theme is. My theme is, and it's not science fiction movies and TV shows, but it might look like that from this angle. It is actually from, I want to do flight of every sort. Maybe I make some sort of, I don't know, balloons. But I also know that I have the schematics for Ron, or Smalek's blimp. He made a map called Superheroes, and inside that he had a blimp that looked absolutely awesome, big like nothing else. And I thought that could be nice just hovering about here somewhere. Because I can just put it in. I don't have to redo it, rebuild it, because it's not mine. I can't rebuild others. And then we have Professor Snape and Icona Kona, who made the Beechcraft in the TV series Lost. You probably do remember it's rather early. I think it's in series 1, season 1. And he made that. He made the whole map, actually. He made the whole season 1 as a custom map for Minecraft. Now, it wasn't really action or something like that, but it was nice. And that build, the beechcraft, the beached beechcraft, I should probably say, I want to copy that one and put it in here as well as some sort of, I don't know, honoring my good fellow Professor Snape. Now, he's a teacher and he's working with everything except Minecraft, which is okay, he can do that. It's his life. Horace Malik does a lot of things, but I think I need to honor him as well. So both their builds are going to be here, because I think that the 10-year younger me would have really enjoyed that. But I didn't use this map for that much. I stole those two, put it in Aniara, whatever you would call it, my first adventure map, and that's it. That's all I did. I put some houses over there, and then in 1.8.8 I started to put in some villages in order to understand how villages worked. I can tell you that, I didn't understand. And by then we didn't have trading, so it was totally useless. Perhaps I sat with it a couple of days or so, and then I just dropped it. And then I fixed my 1.8 up to 116, so this world was 116 just prior to me starting this world, and now I have upgraded it to 121.5. But now it's really going to be my forever world. It has always been my forever world, but I haven't used it as I should. So I'm going to keep on cheating, or whatever you say, in order to get the result I want. Later on I will build probably the Wright brothers flying machine, and I also have a Dam Busters in my head that I also want to do. Dam Busters was actually in a movie. The Wright brothers, I don't think so. But nevertheless, and Ron Smalik's blimp was not in a movie either. In a custom map for Minecraft, yes, but not in a movie. So I'm going with flight of all kind. Perhaps I'll build I have built one of the Swedish Air Force old propeller planes from Second World War. Might redo that one, because I don't remember. I think I made it on the server, so it's gone. Otherwise I could probably redo it, because it wasn't that hard. So now you know why and how and what's going on here. You better believe it. And please do look at the trailer for our 1.6 map. You have to play it in 1.6. Back then you couldn't upgrade it to 1.7 immediately. You have to play it in 1.6. But that was at the same time when they started to keep the old versions, and nowadays you can go as far back as beta. They say so, but I'm not sure. 1.0 2011, that's good enough for me. But the Enderman is still there. Right, night falls on Forever World. El Primo. I'm having fun. This is fun. I can do stuff now that I couldn't do then. That's the thing. Right, now I'm going to go around, build stuff and find stuff, and yeah. Back in a week. Bye.